All right, we're on a roll in terms of getting more sunshine, and we started a warm-up today. It was limited. It happened for some of us, and I'll show you who went up almost 10 degrees today. And then we're going to look at that as an example, because by the middle of the week, we're all doing that. We're all going to take a bit of a jump. Look at today on the high-resolution satellite. Marine layers just kind of melting away right off the coast. You can see the time lapse over my shoulder there. Watch it clear out as we get towards about 5 or 6 o'clock. That's going to build back in again tonight. I'll show you that when we get to that point in the forecast, because we are going to have to deal with a little bit of marine layer gray to start your Monday. But you're just going to get right back into the sunshine just as fast. Let's talk about who warmed up today as the example of what's coming. So we'll take a look at the perspective across the bay, and I'm going to put on the contours to see where the daytime highs were, but I also want you to see what the difference was for some of us. Concord, Livermore, you guys went up by as much as 7 to 10 degrees. Concord, there was a +7 in that circle there for your warm-up. You went up just about 4 degrees there for San Jose, and that's not much, but you're going to go up a little more by the time you get to Wednesday, and you can see the numbers there for Santa Rosa. San Francisco didn't budge much. There are 70-degree days coming here in the city soon. First off, how did we do for actual daytime highs? If that's the difference, here's where we landed. You were still in the low 60s for the most part in the city, but you made it to 90 for the Inland East Bay. That was where we noticed this change today. Let's get forward in time here, and I'll show you what's going to happen as we take a look at Wednesday. We will clear out the vantage point of today's highs. We'll color code the map now for where we're going to be by the time we get to Wednesday. You notice that there's a lot more red on here. And when we look at the numbers for Wednesday, we'll come to that all-important telling signal of the microclimates. You're going to be right around 70 here on Wednesday. There's San Francisco going to the low 70s. But now we've got our temperatures up here, which have managed to make it up to the mid-90s. Antioch's going to 96 degrees on Wednesday. We haven't broken the 100-degree mark in the Bay anywhere in June so far. We were doing it a lot towards the end of May. And then all of a sudden, we got this wonderful break in June. We're not going back to 100. This is the top of this particular warm spell, and it's going to be short-lived. I'll show you in 1 second. But you can see the spread in our microclimates. Let's get everybody else's daytime highs on here. Go ahead and pick out your part of the bay. This is the peak. These will be the highs on Wednesday for your part of the bay, wherever you happen to be. That's going to be low to mid-80s in the South Bay. It'll be 70 in San Francisco. That gets you through the daytime highs. Let's take a look now at how that fog's doing out there and how it's going to build back in again for tomorrow. So now what we're going to take a look at is the progression for Monday. Because I spent so much time focused on Wednesday, you still have a Monday coming your way. If that's where the marine layer sits now, let's bring it forward. We'll play that ahead to tomorrow morning. It'll fill in a limited way. So you're going to wake up on Monday morning. It'll be through the Golden Gate. I don't think it gives you a great start in the Santa Clara Valley. You should be clear down here to start out the day. Same story perhaps with the North Bay as well. But of course, if we play it forward, watch it melt back and we all get into sunshine anyway. So by the time we get to about 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow, just like today, it's going to be a gorgeous array of sunshine. We'll put the colors on here. You can pick out your part of the bay in terms of daytime highs. These numbers, very similar to today. So Wednesday's the day that really stands out. This is your Monday where you really don't have all that big of a significant difference coming your way. And let's check out the 7-day forecast now. Because after that warm-up, we're going right back down. So we'll start out with our inland microclimate. Take a look at the temperatures that are going to peak as we saw by the time we get back to Wednesday. And then from Wednesday to Thursday, you go right back down 10 degrees. And then you'll pretty much stay there. Maybe a little bit of a warm-up as we get towards next weekend. That still needs to be watched. It doesn't look major, but it will be perhaps another subtle bump in the temperatures. And just to show you what we'll be doing in the bay, these are your numbers. Little marine layer morning, sunshine in the afternoon. All right, guys, back to you.